Well, oh well, CARB. You know, it's bad enough when you had the Republicans coming for you, but it'd be your own people sometimes. It'd be your own people sometimes that end you. Roll the intro. So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And yeah, I got like 12 emails from different people. And yeah, I saw the article over at Political. We're going to talk a little bit about it today. Democrats are taking aim at one of California's signature climate policies. State lawmakers are targeting California's climate and pollution regulations in the name of gas prices. See, I said this before. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the environment. It all had to do with money. And it's always only had to do with money. They don't care about the environment. They care about power and money in California. That's it. That's it. Sacramento, California. President Donald Trump is threatening California's marquee carbon trading program. Not cap and trade. What? But it's in a state, Democrats who are taking aim at the state's other emissions market for transportation fuels. Credit prices in California's low carbon fuel market dropped $4 per ton Tuesday morning on the recognition of a credible threat in SB 237, a bill introduced overnight that would cap prices instead of letting them rise as planned in service of encouraging refiners to sell more biofuels, electricity, and other non-fossil fuels. This isn't some pot shot from marginalized Republicans. Oh no. It's a bill from 7 Democratic senators during the thick of the state's legislative session, blessed by Senate President Pro Tem Mike McGuire. They said, quote, "This critical legislation will reduce costs for drivers across the Golden State while continuing to move our climate and energy goals full steam ahead." And it's not all moderate Democrats either. Besides Senator Tim Grayson, Ana Cabello, Melissa Hurtado, Senator Jesse Arriguin, I probably butchered that name, and formerly Berkeley mayor is signed on is Senator Jerry McNary, a freshman and 8-term U.S. House member who is known for being the Congress science guy. The bill is a grab bag of measures to address gas prices, along the lines of another sprawling affordability bill this session, Senator Josh Becker's SB 254, in addition to capping credit prices at roughly $75 per ton, $75, with increases pegged to inflation. It would also push state officials to ditch California's unique lower emission gasoline blend in favor of a broader West-wide standard. It would also offer refiners a one-stop shop for environmental permitting and impose more state oversight of any future rules that affect retail fuel prices. You mean no more of this BS California blend gas? Huh. But wait, I thought if you didn't use that there would be smog. I thought that people were gonna die if you didn't use this specific blend of gasoline. Wait, what do you mean? Do you mean that this has all been bullshit? And now, because the citizens, you're seeing poll numbers that say Republicans are about to win in a blue state in a freaking landslide, from the governor to even members of your own legislature. You mean Republicans could actually have a chance to legislate in the state of California? Oh no! And that is exactly why Democrats are flipping the switch on the California Air Resource Board. They're dead. I've been saying it. And the reason why is because it's about power. It's about money. It has nothing to do with the environment. They don't want to lose their seat of power in California. So this is a last-ditch effort before November to say, hey, look, we're trying to change this. And they'll probably even input something or push this through quickly to drastically drop gas prices. Magically. Oh, look what we did. But will it stay? So, it's funny, they go on to say that the bill could trigger some odd bedfellow alliances. The petroleum industry's main trade group, Western States Petroleum Association, says it appreciates the Senate's starting the LCFS conversation, though it hasn't taken an official position yet. Environmental justice advocates who have long opposed the fuel market incentives for dairy farms that capture their methane emissions and sell it for electricity are on board. So it's at least one sitting member of the state agency that put the policy in place. They said, quote, "This isn't a surrender." What is it then? Said Dean Flores, a member of the California Air Resource Board and former state lawmaker from Bakersfield. He said, quote, "It's a reality check. When credit prices spike so highly, they quietly tack 85 cents onto a gallon of gas. People stop believing the green future includes them." You don't say. You mean when you raise gas prices to the point where people have to decide if they're going to get food to feed their family that week or put gas in the car, that your ass might get voted out of power or removed? Huh. It's amazing how that works. Other environmentalists are concerned about losing another climate policy in the state's toolbox right after Trump revoked the state's permission to enforce its nation-leading electric vehicle targets. They said, quote, "Why would we handcuff ourselves by not using a key policy to address transportation, the single largest emitting sector in California," said Caitlin Roeder-Suter, California Director of the Environmental Defense Fund. Governor Gavin Newsom, who's beat up on oil companies, then instructed his California Energy Commission to try to keep refiners from leaving after two of them subsequently announced departure plans. The bill could cut both ways. Newsom's office has no response and is not responding to any comments. Like, if you ask for a comment, he has nothing to say on this. It puts a spotlight on the state's perpetually high gas prices and reopens a wound from last year when lawmakers hit CARB over its admission and subsequent walkback of its estimate that the program could raise gas prices by 47 cents per gallon. Oof. So it could also help close another wound from last year when neighboring governors whose states depend on California gas publicly complained about Newsom's bill to have refiners keep more supplies on hand in the event of outages. There's surprisingly wide agreement that California's custom blend of gasoline, formulated to reduce smog in the summer, might not need to be so uniquely tailored. You mean to say the things that we've been saying for a long time, and the auto industry for that matter, that cars don't emit emissions like they used to, and the fact that it takes like 75 cars to one car from 1986 to be able to put out the same amount of emissions? You mean that? Yeah, the gas blends are no longer needed. So he says, Dan Sperling, a former CARB board member and director of the University of California Davis Institute for Transportation Studies, damn, that's a long-ass name, said broadening the market to align with fuel in other Western states would bring down prices and reduce the impact of refinery closures while having minimal impacts on emissions. You mean somebody that used to be at CARB has some common sense and they said facts? Meaning there'd be really no change in emissions if you used gasoline from Texas with the same blend that you use in California? Huh. Funny how that works. He said, quote, if you can make some minor modifications and open the market to more refiners outside of California, then the concern about refiners leaving goes away. True. Grayson acknowledged things could change. Quote, details of the policy are up for negotiation, but I will be fighting to ensure that we get the needed change for Californians who are fed up with our fuel economy, he said in a statement. Huh. Well, I will do a deep dive on the original bill, which is SB 237. I may put a link in here if you want to see it. It is right here. I do have the bill. I want to get into it in detail, read it, and then I will come back to you guys here and we'll look at it. But basically, what it is the bill basically creates a one-stop shop for permitting, right? They don't have to go through a bunch of shit with California Air Resource Board, California EPA, all these other things. They literally can come in and you could get a refinery up and running in California. Now, I understand why they're doing that. They're less. It's amazing what happens when you lessen regulations. And I understand you want dirty air and dirty water, TK. No, I don't. I want common sense. And California is full retard. They're not even common sense. They have gone 100% full retard. And it's coming back to bite them in the ass, and it's going to cost them a seat of power. A lot of it. And the polls are very clear. They're going to lose the governorship in a landslide. They're going to lose so many legislative seats that now to them it's, we need to fix it now. Is that a C5? I hear it loud as hell. Yeah. Anywho's. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And hey, you know, I'm sure there's going to be some other people on the internet that do YouTube videos that'll tell us that nothing's going to happen with CARB and everything's going to stay the same and nothing's changing, though we know different. And what's funny is when the people that created, you know, push you as an organization and fund your stuff start coming after you, hey, you have both parties coming after you, that's a wrap. That's what we call that, a wrap. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what we do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're interested in jumping into our Tesla Model S giveaway, if you're into electric vehicles, you can do that. You can click any of the merch down here below on the video or go to tksgarage.com directly. Pick up any merch. $1 equals 1 entry. And that is closing out. We're closing out the month of June, going into July, and wrapping up our Tesla giveaway. If that's something that interests you, go jump onto it, like I said, at tksgarage.com. I believe there's a few 10x entry items left on the site as well. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And as always, stay petty, my friend.